AQMD's Why Healthy Air Matters program, or WHAM. Thank you for joining us for our first live WHAM virtual event of the school year. The purpose of this program is to reach students like you, joining us from across Los Angeles, Orange, Riverside, and San Bernardino counties to teach you about the importance of clean air. Our hope is to increase awareness of air quality issues within the South Coast Air Basin and empower you all to make positive changes that can help clean the air we breathe. Today, we are going to learn about health impacts from air pollution, sources that cause it, and the effects that weather and topography have on air quality. After watching this WHAM video, you're all going to compete in a live Kahoot contest to put your knowledge to the test. But before we do that, we have a special guest, Bernard Toliver, Senior Public Affairs Specialist at South Coast AQMD. He will be sharing information about what he does and one of South Coast AQMD's initiatives called the AB 617 program. Take it away, Bernard.
Thank you. And I think we have a slide coming up, but just to give you a little background about myself before we start, again, my name is Bernard Toliver. I am a Senior Public Affairs Specialist with South Coast AQMD. I'm also the Community Liaison for AB 617 Communities, South Los Angeles, and the East LA, Boyle Heights, West Commerce Community Steering Committee. And you'll hear more about these steering committees as we go through the presentation. But more about my background, I was born and raised in LA. I have a degree in public relations from Cal State Dominguez Hills. And without further ado, let's get started. Next slide, please. All right, South Coast Air Quality Management District, or South Coast AQMD, is responsible for reducing air pollution so we all can breathe clean, healthy air. South Coast AQMD is a special district that regulates air pollution in 4-county region, including Los Angeles, San Bernardino, Riverside, and Orange counties. We have approximately 800 employees, including scientists, planners, engineers, and inspectors. We cover over 10,000 square miles, nearly 17 million residents, and over 12 million vehicles are within our boundaries. Next slide, please. South Coast AQMD's responsibility and our mission is to clean the air and protect the health of all residents in the South Coast Air District through practical and innovative strategies. We regulate stationary sources, and stationary sources are sources of air pollution such as factories, gas stations, power plants, and other types of businesses. We issue permits for regulating these types of business and ensure they're working within compliance. We have public engagement. We'll receive and investigate complaints. So when people call 1-800-CUT-SMOG, we assist small businesses and spread awareness about air quality issues and health impacts and what we can do to improve our air quality. We have science and public health. We monitor and analyze data regarding the current air quality and emissions and health effects and special studies. And then research, development, and demonstration. We research new technology and develop new ideas. Next slide, please. So you heard me mention AB 617. So basically, AB 617 is an assembly bill that was authored by Cristina Garcia, Assembly Member Cristina Garcia, and was signed into law in 2017. The AB 617 program is a comprehensive community-based effort that focuses on improving air quality and public health and environmental justice communities. Our AB 617 implementation efforts span 4 years with 6 designated communities. Next slide. So these are the 6 designated communities, and we rely on input from our community steering committees and community emission reduction plan that we work with each community to develop. Each community has their own focus plan that helps to reduce air pollution in those communities. So you can see we have Wilmington, Carson, West Long Beach, East LA, Boyle Heights, West Commerce, San Bernardino, Muscoy, Southeast LA, Eastern Coachella Valley, and South LA. So what that means is that each designated community has its own plan to monitor and reduce air pollution. Next slide, please. So what are the elements of the plan? So each community emission reduction plan, or CERP, has actions in them, and they include incentives, enforcement. So we'll go out on complaints, or we do routine inspections. And when folks are out of compliance or businesses are out of compliance, we can issue a notice of violations and so on. We have exposure reduction measures, spread the word through public information, and we collaborate with other stakeholders. Next slide, please. So what are some of the things that you can do to help reduce air pollution? So as I mentioned earlier, you can always call 1-800-CUT-SMOG if you see or smell something that doesn't seem right. So if you smell an odor near a factory or something like that, you want to call us and let us know so we can go out and investigate. You also want to be conscientious about your energy use. So everything is connected. Saving energy can reduce the air pollution caused by burning fossil fuels such as coal and oil that pollute our air. You want to recycle, because throw away as little as possible and use fewer disposable products. And also, we have an app that you can download to check on the air quality in your area. And this can help you plan your day so you don't have to go outside when air pollution levels are high. And always visit our website, AQMD.gov, where you can download the app and view much more info on the topics that on AB 617 and how to be engaged and so on. So next slide. Oh, yeah. So that concludes. Thank you for having me, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of the program. Enjoy.
Thank you so much for your presentation, Bernard. All right, folks, now we're going to watch a video on what air pollution is and how it spreads. Please give us a second while we pull up the video. Give us a couple of minutes. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Leslie Rodriguez, and I work at South Coast AQMD, the local regulatory agency responsible for cleaning the air. Welcome to the Why Healthy Air Matters program, also known as WHAM. Today we're going to talk about the air we breathe. What comes to mind when you hear the words air pollution? Air pollution is a mixture of gases and small particles in the air that can be harmful to our health and well-being. Each and every one of us should care about air pollution because it affects all of us, including our families and our friends. Mild health effects caused by air pollution include burning and watery eyes, coughing, or wheezing. More serious health issues include asthma, cancer, or even heart disease. Children and elderly people are more susceptible to health problems related to air pollution, but when air pollution levels are very high, everyone can be affected. The good news is that air quality has improved over the last several decades due to work by government, businesses, environmental and health organizations, scientists, and people like you and me who are working to clean our air. Do you know which local agency is responsible for clean air in our region? If you answered the South Coast Air Quality Management District, or South Coast AQMD for short, you are right. South Coast AQMD is the local regulatory agency for major portions of Los Angeles, Orange, Riverside, and San Bernardino counties, including the Coachella Valley. South Coast AQMD is responsible for approximately 10,000 square miles, and there are more than 17 million people living in our region. South Coast AQMD develops and enforces air pollution rules, monitors and analyzes air quality, researches, develops, and deploys new technologies like low and zero emission trucks, responds to public air quality complaints, and educates the public about the dangers associated with air pollution. Our region has over 12 million vehicles, including hundreds of thousands of diesel trucks, and is home to the busiest ports in the United States, which are responsible for receiving and moving 1/3 of the nation's goods. That means the clothes, shoes, electronics, and other things we buy that come from overseas begin their journey here in the South Coast Air Basin and make their way to the shelves of stores at your local mall and throughout the U.S. by trains, trucks, and airplanes. All of this activity creates air pollution. People living in the South Coast Air Basin are greatly affected by air pollution coming from many different sources. The federal government sets the standards for healthy air, but our region currently does not meet clean air standards for ozone and particulate matter. The California Air Resources Board also creates air quality regulations for the state. South Coast AQMD is responsible for controlling pollution primarily from stationary sources. Do you know what a stationary source is? A stationary source is a source of pollution that does not move, such as power plants, factories, and refineries. Stationary sources make up approximately 10% of the air pollution in our region. Area sources are small sources of air pollution which by themselves may not emit very much, but when added together can make up a large portion of the total emissions. In our region, they make up another 10% of the basin's air pollution and can come from some of our daily activities such as painting, barbecuing, and using a wood-burning fireplace. Lastly, the biggest contributors to air pollution in our region are mobile sources. A mobile source is a source of air pollution that moves, such as cars, trucks, buses, trains, planes, ships, and construction equipment. Mobile sources make up over 80% of the smog-forming air pollution in our region. These sources also contribute toxic air pollution from diesel soot. There are other sources and types of hazardous air pollutants, but we are focusing on nitrogen oxide, or NOx, and particulate matter, or PM, today. While South Coast AQMD does not have direct regulatory authority over mobile sources, the agency is a leader in the research, development, and demonstration of mobile source technologies. These projects have led to groundbreaking products, such as plug-in hybrid cars on the road today, like the Prius Prime, and the development of zero and ultra-low emissions technologies for the most polluting heavy-duty trucks, marine vessels, trains, and more. South Coast AQMD also provides incentive funds to help businesses exchange their older, more polluting trucks, vehicles, and equipment for cleaner, more efficient models. These incentives not only mean cleaner air, but they also stimulate economic activity, which creates jobs. Another factor contributing to our air pollution issues is the natural land formations, or topography, and weather in our region. We have a coast with cool ocean breezes, mountain ranges, and sunshine almost year-round. These natural features create the conditions that can lead to an inversion effect. This is when the air pollution is pushed inland by cooler winds coming off the ocean. It is then halted by the mountains and trapped by a layer of hot air. The trapped air pollutants include nitrogen oxides, also known as NOx, and volatile organic compounds, also known as VOCs, are then cooked under the sun, which then forms ozone, better known as smog. As you can guess, smog is worse on hot days with lots of sun, as well as days where there isn't a lot of wind. Now that we've talked about the sources and types of air pollution, as well as the inversion effect, let's do an experiment to demonstrate how air pollution spreads. You can watch this video or pause now to conduct the experiment on your own. Earlier in the lesson, we discussed different types of pollution and how we are all affected by them in the South Coast Air Basin and Coachella Valley. Today's experiment will demonstrate how air pollution spreads in gas form from areas of high concentration to areas of low concentration. For this experiment, you will need a beaker or clear cup, water, and food coloring in any color. Fill your beaker or cup with water. This represents our air. Add 1 drop of food coloring, which represents air pollution. Notice how the food coloring just appears as a drop at first. Over time, the food coloring spreads to fill the entire container. Just like liquids, Gases move from an area of high concentration to an area of low concentration, like what we're seeing in this demonstration. Imagine that this is air pollution being spread, instead of a drop of food coloring. This can be odors coming from a landfill, gases released from an oil refinery, or carbon dioxide and NOx coming from a diesel truck or construction equipment. Like the container of liquid, initially, the gases will stay in the area they were emitted. Over time, however, they will spread. Imagine all the different sources of air pollution and how they are spread out throughout the air basin. Which places would have the worst pollution? Would the gases eventually be spread out evenly? These are some of the air quality issues that South Coast AQMD works on every day to help protect our health. Through the WHAM program, we hope to share with you the science and policies related to air quality and the things we can all do to help clean the air we breathe. That's all for today's lesson. We hope you learned something new and that you will do your part in the fight to clean our air. Thanks for joining us today. See you next time.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you all paid attention to the video because now it's some time for some help from friendly competition. On the screen, you will see the information for a Kahoot contest. Teachers, please take the time now to join with your classrooms or have your students join with their own devices. Students, if you're joining on your own device, please enter with your first name and last initial only. Anyone who does not follow these guidelines will be removed from the game room. We will give everyone about a couple of minutes and then we'll get started. Remember, the questions in this contest will test everyone's knowledge on the video we just watched. We will see how much you all remembered. Throughout the contest, you'll all be able to see your own scores and the scores of other schools and classrooms joining us today. Our game pin is 653063. You can also scan the QR code at the top of the web page. Getting a lot of participation today. Really excited. Can we get to 50? Let's give it just a couple of more minutes and then we'll go ahead and get started. I will go ahead and give it just 30 more seconds and then we'll get started. All right, folks, looks like that's about it. We're going to go ahead and get started now. All right, for the first question, South Coast AQMD is a local regulatory agency for which type of air pollution? Get your answers in. All right, just 5 more seconds. Okay, let's see who. Good job, folks. Looks like almost everyone got the answer correct. Looks like everybody was paying attention. Let's move on to the next question. Wow, good job, David. All right, second question. What is a health issue caused by air pollution? Burning eyes and coughing, respiratory disease, asthma, or all of the above? Wisely. Couple of more seconds. All right, let's see how y'all did. Good job. Looks like a lot of people were paying attention. Good job, David. Way to answer those questions super quickly. Here's the third question. Which county is not included in South Coast AQMD's jurisdiction? Los Angeles, Ventura, Orange, or San Bernardino? Couple of them. Good job, everybody. Ventura was the right answer. Let's see who's on top of the leaderboards. Oh, David still has the lead, 3 questions in. Question number 4. Approximately how many people live in the South Coast Air Basin? 17 million, 25 million, 9 million, or 13 million? Approximately how many people live in the South Coast Air Basin? Okay. Looks like the right answer was 17 million. Oh no, David got dethroned. Good job, Kehlani. All right. 5th question. What is an example of South Coast AQMD's responsibilities? Develops and enforces air pollution rules, monitors and analyzes air quality, respond to air quality complaints, all the above. All of you answered that question super quick. Good job. All right, let's see who got it. Good job. All the above. Good job, Kehlani. Way to keep your lead. Look like 6th question. Which federal standard does our region currently not meet? Ozone, particulate matter, greenhouse gases, or both ozone and particulate matter? This one's a little bit tricky. One more second. All right, let's see who got this question right. Good job, everyone. All right, let's go on to the scoreboard. All right, John overtook Kehlani for the 7th question. There's 3 more to go. Stationary sources contribute to what percentage of air pollution in our region? Stationary sources contribute to what percentage of air pollution in our region? 5%, 10%, 25%, or 30%? Remember, there was a couple of different sources on there. Be sure to answer this one carefully. All right, let's see who got this one. Ooh, what a fair distribution. Yep, that's 10%. All right, Kehlani retook the lead. Good job, Kehlani. All right, last of 2 questions. Which is an example of a daily activity that leads to air pollution from area sources? Barbecuing, ironing, biking, or using an electric fireplace? A couple of more folks left to answer the question. Get your answers in. All right, let's see how y'all did. That's right, barbecuing. A good example of air pollution from area sources. Let's see who's on the leaderboard now. All right, Kehlani looks like she's pulling ahead. Let's see if anybody can catch up. 2 more questions. Which is the biggest contributor to air pollution in our region? Area sources, mobile sources, stationary, or natural sources? Give us a couple of more folks. I'd love to answer the question. All right, let's see how everyone did. That's right. Mobile sources, the biggest contributor to air pollution in our region. Let's check our scoreboard now. Oh, Kilani's still pulling away. Let's see if David can catch up. Last question. Which natural features contribute to the inversion effect? Cool sea breezes, mountains, sunlight, or all of these? Couple more seconds to find out who won. Good job, folks. All of these were correct. All right, let's see how everyone did. Coming in third place, Maria. Second place, David. First place, Kilani. Good job, folks. Way to participate and do really well in this presentation, in this contest. Thank you all for coming today, folks. Thank you for joining us for our first virtual event of the year. We hope you enjoyed the presentation and learned something new about air pollution and what you can do to take action to fight against air pollution and help clean the air in our community. To all the teachers here today, a participation survey will pop up on your screen once we close out the webinar, where you can provide feedback for today's presentation. As a reminder, one random teacher will be selected to win $50, and we use the survey to determine the winner, so be sure to fill it out. Thank you again for joining.